Shalom, shalom, Israel. Peace and light to the children of light scattered to the four corners of the earth. My name is King Corner Arbun Yisrael, the zeal of Ahiah, from the tribe of Judah, from the children of light, Israelites. And today we're going to bring forth a particular topic to show everyone all the empires that ruled this particular world. The name of this lesson is called All the Empires of the World. And we're going to go through it step by step to give you understanding, because we see man from the beginning has been trying to establish himself as a power outside of the Most High's rulership. So we're going to take a look into that, and hopefully we get proper understanding. But first and foremost, I want to say all praises to Ahaya Ashar Ahaya Bahashem Yacheya Wahakodashi Ruaka. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya. Allahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya. Allahayam Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya. Allahayam Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Hero Israel, the Most High, our power is one. Selah. So the first scripture we're going to start with today is going to be Genesis chapter 4, verse 16 through 24. Genesis chapter 4, verse 16 through 24. And it reads, And Cain went out from the presence of the Most High and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad. And Irad begot Mehujael. And Mehujael begot Methuselah. And Methuselah begot Lamech. And Lamech took unto him two wives. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah. And Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwelt in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of such as handled the harps and the organs. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artifactor in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naam. So we see right here that after Cain established his city and named it after his son Enosh, that his descendants started to being the father of particular characteristics, like they was learning how to play the flute, they was learning how to forge weapons, they was learning how to control the animals, using them as probably livestock to eat. So we see right here this first kingdom that was given a blueprint from Satan. When you look into the book of Enoch, it shows you that Azazel and all his associates was teaching the sons of men all kind of abominations, okay? So Cain built the first city that was void of the Most High's rulership, and much bloodshed and lawlessness and abominations. For this reason, the flood came, okay? That was the first kingdom that tried to establish itself without the rulership of the Most High. We're going to go into another one. Genesis chapter 10, verse 9. Genesis chapter 10, verse 9. And we're going here to take a look at Nimrod, because Nimrod, after the flood, he was the particular physical manifestation of Satan after the flood, okay? So we're going to look into Genesis chapter 10, verse 9, and it says, I'm going to start from 8. And Cush begot Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Most High. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Most High. So we see Nimrod right here is a mighty hunter, but he is not a mighty hunter of livestock, but he is a mighty hunter of mankind. So let's continue, because we see from the wickedness that Nimrod was bringing forth that they wanted to go against the Most High, and they was trying to build the Tower of Babel up to the heavens to fight against the Most High. It tells you that in the book of Jasher. So Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 through 9, and I'm going to read it. And it says, the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go, go to let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Most High came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men had built. And the Most High said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they haven't imagined to do. Excuse me. Verse 7. Go to, let us go down, and therefore confound their languages, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Most High scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore the name of it is called Babel, because the Most High did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Most High scatter them abroad upon the face of the earth. So we see right here that Nimrod, he has subdued the whole earth, ancient Babylon, okay? Subdued the whole earth with religion, through entertainment, through all aspects of society. He had already subdued the whole earth, and now we see them, the imagery of them trying to build a temple into the heavens, a tower into the heavens to fight against the Most High. The Most High confounded their languages. Thence we have what? The Tower of Babel. This is the second wicked kingdom that tried to establish rulership without the authority of the Most High. And we're going to keep going, because the next kingdom would be the Egyptians. And let me read this. It says the Egyptians came to power from the gifts of the children of Israel. When we went into Mizraim, all the gifts that the children of Israel possessed, we let it be known to the children of Ham, okay? We shared our information and everything else that we had. So when you read the book of Jasher, the children of Israel started worshiping the gods of the Egyptians. And this is how they went into bondage. Fast forward 400 years later, when we came out of bondage, all right, we see the Israelites setting up authority, setting up rule. We see Joshua going into the land, destroying everyone in the land, possessing the land, okay? So we see that Israel was in captivity for 210 years. Now, according to the book of Jasher, Israel was given rulership, but went astray and learned the ways of the heathen, okay? So now, after Israel had established rulership and set up King Saul and then King Dawid, which is King David, Solomon went astray. The kingdom was split under Solomon, all right? The first time that the Israelites went into captivity, which was the northern kingdom, was in 701 BC, okay? And we're going to take a look at that. 2 Kings chapter 17, verses 3 through 6. 2 Kings chapter 17, verses 3 through 6. And it reads, I'm going to start from verse 1. In the 12th year of Ahaz, the king of Judah, began Hosea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Salmanezar, king of Assyria, and Hosea, became his servant and gave him power. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hosea, for he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt, and brought to the presence of King Assyria. And he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut up and bound him in prison. So now we see here that the Israelites started worshiping. When you read deeper into this chapter, you will see that they started worshiping the gods of the surrounding nations, okay? And by doing so, they went into captivity, the northern kingdom, in 701 BC. Okay, we're going to take a look at the southern kingdom going into captivity, all right, in 586 BC. Daniel chapter 1, verse 1. Daniel chapter 1, verse 1. And this is all leading up to a major prophecy that would give us full understanding for our time. So Daniel chapter 1, verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem and besieged it. Okay, so now we see King Nebuchadnezzar besieging Babylon. This happened in 586 BC. The southern kingdom fell. Okay, according to Jeremiah 27 verses 1 through 6, it would show that even Jeremiah during that time when he was alive, that he went into captivity to Nebuchadnezzar as well. So we're going to move forward and we're going to look into a particular vision that Daniel had, because this vision that Daniel had showed all empires ruling. It gave the imagery of all empires, and it showed all empires ruling till the kingdom of light came and struck all kingdoms and destroyed all kingdoms. Okay? So Daniel chapter 2, verses 31 through 45. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to get some understanding on it. Daniel chapter 2, verses 31 through 45, and it reads, Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and from therefore was terrible. Verse 32. This image head was of fine gold, and his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till there was a stone that was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet, that was of iron and of clay, and brake them into pieces. Then was the iron and the clay and the brass and the silver and the gold broken into pieces together, and became like the shaft of the summer threshing floor. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof. So, now we see King Nebuchadnezzar having a vision of a statue showing all empires, all right? And we're going to get into that, because according to this prophecy, King Nebuchadnezzar was the head of gold. He was the first beast, okay? Because you can liken him to the 4 beasts that's in Daniel chapter 7. He was the first beast, all right? The lion that spoke blasphemous words, okay? He ruled from 605 BC to 539 BC. In BC, they would say before Christ, but we don't use Christ. So BC, we're going to use as before the Messiah walked this earth, okay? So King Nebuchadnezzar, he ruled from 605 BC to 539 BC. In his stead, King Darius came up and smote him and succeeded him. He was the chest of silver, okay? His rule was from 539 BC to 331 BC, all right? Whereas Alexander the Greek came in with much slaughter and much bloodshed and destroyed the Persians, all right? And he is the thighs of brass. His rulership was from 331 BC until 168 BC, okay? Now, we see that from 168 BC, before the Messiah walked the earth, the Grecians ruled the earth, but they likened unto the Romans, okay? They mixed in with each other, because you see in secular history, it is called Greco-Roman history, because they absorbed each other. They are actually one nation. The Greeks are the Romans are the Greeks, okay? Because from history, we can see what happened to Alexander the Greek when he came in and he laid siege to Jerusalem and he destroyed Jerusalem. He put 4 kings in his authority, which was his 4 kings, which was Cassandra, Ptolemy, Antigonus, and Seleucus. All right? Seleucus gave birth to Antiochus. Some people might say Antiochus, which was an evil shoot. All right? Which was the Romans. Okay? So we're going to get some more into that. Revelations chapter 13, verses 1 through 4. Revelations chapter 13, verses 1 through 4. And we're going to go here because we see out of the Grecians came Antiochus or Antiochus, which was an evil shoot. All right? And we're going to look at the analogy because in Daniel 7, it shows you the imagery of these four beasts. All right? And these four beasts, the last beast was exceedingly great, that four horns came up under. All right? And this four beasts had 10 heads, the 10-toe kingdom. All right? Mixed with iron and clay. So we're going to get some more understanding on that in Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 through 4. This shows the 10 toes, all right, which is the divided nations of Western Europe, the 10 toes. Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 through 4. And it reads, "And I stood on the sands of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the names of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority." So we see this last kingdom, the 10-toe kingdom. We see this last kingdom, the 10-horn kingdom, all right, had got power and authority from the dragon, which is Satan. Okay? So we see that this evil shoot, which was Antiochus or Antiochus, whichever way you would like to pronounce it, we see that he set up the desolation of abomination. He was sacrificing swine on the altar to the Most High. He was just extremely wicked, all right? During that time, you can see that the Romans pretty much put into captivity the Israelites. And you can look at that information in the book of Maccabees 1 and 2. Okay? So now we see the 10-horn kingdom is the last kingdom that will be ruling on this planet. So, verse 3, Revelation 13 and 3. "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they that worship the dragon which gave power to the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him?" So we see right here the 10 toes or the 10 horns, which is Rome. All right, they established rulership. Okay, and then we see that in 193 AD, Septimius Severus came through the Roman ranks and mortally struck Rome. Okay, hit him with a mortal wound. All right. And this is the time when they say that when that wound was healed, because what? During the Dark Ages, when our people ruled, we set up nobility, we set up rulership, we set up authority. All right, we was fighting against the Roman Catholic Church, trying to stop them from distorting our records, from getting our records, from putting their grubby hands on our records and taking from and adding to and switching up the whole totality of the scriptures. All right, our people was fighting against that, okay? And so that mortal wound was once again Septimius Severus coming up through the Roman ranks and striking Rome with a deadly blow. But we know that in, let's say, 1066 AD, that Rome eventually killed off the rest of the nobility of Israelites, all right? And now we're living in that kingdom. We're living in the kingdom right now, the 10-toe kingdom. And this kingdom right here is going to try to usher in the mark of the beast. Well, they are going to usher in the mark of the beast. To put a chip inside you, to turn you to a battery, to control your every thought, to control your every action, to control your every feeling. All right? This is the kingdom that we're living in. The wicked kingdom of the 10-toe kingdom. But I'm going to show you something, because the kingdom of light, when it comes, it shall be established and it shall be never put to an end, okay? Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. And we're going to take a look at this particular kingdom of light that shall never, ever, ever be done away with. Daniel chapter 7, verse 18, and it reads, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever." Let me start from verse 17. "These great beasts which are four kings which shall arise out the earth, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess it forever and ever." So we see these four beasts that was given the analogy of all kingdoms, all right? The first beast was the head of gold. The second beast was the chest of silver. The third beast was the thighs of brass. And the fourth beast we know is the Roman Empire, which had 10 providences, which are the 10 horns, which are the 10 toes. And we know during that time, the time of these kings, that the Messiah, which is the stone that was cut out and made without hands, will strike this kingdom, okay? And then the kingdom of light will be established forever, all right? Because the saints will take the kingdom and will establish rule forever and ever, all right? Long live the king. The royal decree has been given, and it shall be accomplished according to as it is written, thus shall it be. Okay? So, one more scripture for today, and we're going to close out. And I'd like to thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Children of Light Israelites. And if you like what the Most High is using me to do, subscribe to my channel. Look me up on Facebook. My name is King Corner Al-Bunny Yisrael. Or you can look me up on my Children of Light Facebook page. So, our last scripture for today is going to be Isaiah chapter 45 and 17. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17. And I hope I gave you some understanding concerning all the kingdoms that try to bear rule void of the rulership of the Most High. All right? And how could man dare to do such thing when the Most High is the one who gave them breath, gave them life, gave them the earth, and then they turn around and worship Satan because Satan gave them power, what? To rule and to live comfortably for a time? Yes. So, Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17. And it reads, "But Israel shall be saved in the Most High with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end." So you see, even though the Israelites at this particular moment, we bear reproach, we bear shame, all right? We are cursed, we shall be a blessing unto the nations, okay? We shall rule the worlds forever and ever, all right? And Israel shall be saved. The Most High shall yet choose Israel, all right? So with that being said, I want to say shalom.